What's up everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. So this part has a little bit of everything. This is kind of like a quintessential Final Fantasy part. We got overworld stuff, we got dungeons, we got bosses, we got weird mini-games. First up though, we have ostrich creatures. So if you recall, our current objective is to find a Chocobo. And then after this, we find this Chocobo, we must take it and make it our own. So, first off, I got the Fledgling Summoner Trophy because I used my first summon, which is Chocomog here, which is a Chocobo with Mog the Moogle on it. Mog the Moogle, of course, being a recurring Moogle name in Final Fantasy. You know, Moogles are a race which I'm 90% certain were introduced in Final Fantasy VI. I say 90% because apparently Chocobos were introduced in Final Fantasy II. Guess who has not played Final Fantasy II? This guy. I think later re-releases added in Chocobos and Moogles to other ones, but I'm talking the original incarnations. But we found a Chocobo along with two elephant creatures, so this is what you have to do. You find the Chocobo, and you have to give it some greens, and it'll eat the greens, and during that time it's eating the greens, you have to kill the other dudes. So, spoilers, I totally screw up this time because I don't kill these other dudes fast enough, and because of that, straight up, Chocobo runs away before I can actually do it. Also, man, the Chocobo theme is at its like best here. I love the Chocobo theme. It's iconic. When birds sing it, it is the most pure, wonderful thing on earth, and it's cool. I'm not sure if I really dig the Chocobo designs in this game. I don't know. For some reason, honestly, the only real Chocobo that so as you can see, we were too late, and because of it, he's like scared now, and I'm like, oh god, give him some more greens, but he runs. See ya, Chocobo. Don't worry, we'll be back in just a sec to grab another one. I really like my favorite Chocobo design is probably the one like the Chocobo spin-off games, because one of my first Final Fantasies that I owned was Chocobo Tales on the DS. Now, for those of you who don't know, Chocobo Tales was a very strange game, but Chocobo has a whole line of its own series, but I remember I got Chocobo Tales on the DS, and it's sort of like a game where it's half a mini-game collection and half a card battling RPG. It's very strange. It's a lot of fun, but it's very strange. Probably the best part about it is the fact that all the stories in the game are like, because it's all based on storybooks and stuff, they're all like real life fables that, you know, you might hear from, I don't know where you'd even hear a fable. You just like, you know the fables when you hear them, but it's those, but with Final Fantasy characters. Now when I say Final Fantasy characters, I don't always mean like, you know, like I'm not talking like Cloud or anyone. We caught the Chocobo though, thank god. Though there's a lot of references to a lot of Final Fantasies. For the most part, it's all the creatures. You do have a black mage and a white mage. But like, for instance, the Mako reactor theme that, you know, you hear in quite a bit, I learned from Chocobo Tales, where it was used for the final dungeon. It's definitely an interesting game. So here's the Midgar Zolom, which people have told me you totally can kill, and if you go for it, what you want to do is you want to have enemy skill on, because you'll get an attack called Beta, which is a super strong fire move, but you need to be absurdly like leveled and prepared to take it. It's not worth the effort if you're a first time player, but so yeah, the Midgar Zolom that we are avoiding, there's one here on a stake that Sephiroth killed. This is some super metal imagery. Like that is an album cover for like Death Call Megadeth or whatever. And that was just the area before this cave here. And sadly, you must get rid of the Chocobo, and the Chocobo isn't permanent. Goodbye, Chocobo. He's gone now. And now we're into a dungeon, to which case I go out and I'm like, wait a second, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm very confused. But yeah, the Midgar Zolom there, you can see him chasing you. That's such a cool effect, though, for an overworld map. I don't know why I went out. I don't even know. You know, because I recorded these a long time ago. But this is just a straight-up dungeon, you know, nothing super spectacular. We got an ether, those are always nice. One thing I will say, the dungeons in this game, so far for me, are a lot shorter than common Final Fantasy dungeons. And the reason why is pretty obvious. It's that, you know, in previous Final Fantasy games, to make a dungeon, you would just make a map and then use the tile set to create the map, right? You know, you would be able to place the bricks wherever you want to go, and that was easy. You know, maybe you might need one or two little add-ons or something, but it wasn't anything crazy. In this one, of course, every room has to be hand-designed. Not, you know, you don't make piece by piece, you make the whole screen, which is a lot more effort, and why a lot of dungeons are a lot shorter, you know, which makes sense, at least for now. Later on it might be more. Also, I'm trying to steal from this dragonfly dude, because, you know, I also accidentally killed him. You know, I see a single enemy there, and I'm like, I should try and get what it has, and it's fine. I do stop stealing stuff later, because I realize, you know, most of the time it doesn't have anything super consequential. I do at points also do some grinding, and usually in that grinding I also grind for stealing items, because I can sell them, or they might be good. You know, for example, Phoenix Downs later, those are good. A lot of just, you know, basic sort of enemies in here. Also, I didn't get that good with Tifa's Limit Break. I got just 2 hits. You want to try and get the goods, which honestly isn't that hard. When I first saw Tifa's slots thing, I was like, oh my god, why would they make it random? Because as a kid, at least, I thought slots were random. You know, like I wasn't the guy who was able to actually learn how to play slots until very recently. You know, and actually this game kind of helped, where it's like you sort of see the pattern and you want to try and get it, you know, in time and get all the hits. And at least the way it works for those is it's like, you know, all the hits are to near each other and the yas are near each other. So it's not bad, you know. It's definitely something that's doable, especially when later on you get, you know, 6 or 7 different slots going at once. Oh no, but we gotta fight the Turks, right? Because they're here. They're like mini bosses. So this kind of changes this subverts my expectations. I was totally expecting the Turks to be a super serious, no holds barred mini boss team, but no, they're the goldfish poop gang who kind of make lots of mistakes. And also Ellen is cute because she has short blonde hair, and I like that. Also, the basis for Larxene from Kingdom Hearts, I don't know, I'm sort of feeling it. I feel like the Turks in general are the basis for the organization from Kingdom Hearts, because I mean, you got friggin' Reno is literally Axel in terms of everything. Sang is like I forget the Lance guy's name, because he's actually like the most forgettable. You know, like they all feel similar to them in terms of when you fight them and stuff too, and how, you know, they're going after Sephiroth too, not just us. So it's you got a 3-way thing, you know. So I like that. And like, for instance, you know, Reno wants to fight us, so they're letting us go. It's actually pretty, I like it, you know. And I don't know what happens if you have Aerith here. It would be interesting to find out. Does he apologize for what he's done? I don't know. We'll have to, we'll have to see. I might have missed out on some important plot because I decided not to use Aerith, but who cares? You know why? Because it's okay. Aerith will get her due time soon enough, and by due time, I mean possibly thumbnail art, because, okay, the money's already down, I already commissioned it, so it's coming. It's coming. It's just, you know, I gotta get it, which I'm excited for. And we're out. Pretty simple dungeon. Now, of course, here comes the fun time of, oh god, where do I go next? And I see that large looming tower in the distance. Now, this place, a lot of people might know, is a big big side quest. It's called Fort Condor. And, straight up, I'm not gonna be doing much of it. I am doing it once. I do it once. But I don't even know when. So I went out there and saved and actually got a new recording session. And, like, so this is weird. I don't know. I was editing this part, again, post, and I go in there, and I'm getting so ready to get everything. You know, I'm like, I have it all set up, and then I just don't do it. I even go and get I think it's because I don't have enough money. I think that's the big thing, because there's a shop here where you can buy stuff, and I foolishly spent all my money, you know. But this is a big side quest that you do want to come back to at various parts in the game. I think they said every major story beat you can come back and get more prizes. Now, none of the prizes are, as far as I'm aware, anything that you're gonna, like, totally need to go back for. No weapons, no materia, no rare materia at least, you know, just kind of more basic stuff. But Shinra are here, and they're attacking this fort. Because at the top of the mountain, take a guess what's at the top of Fort Condor. A reactor and a condor. Yeah, well, like the reactor you might not have known, but there is a condor. Which I wonder if it's a mistranslation. Or you know, because it's like when I think of a condor, I just think of like the actual condor birds, which are just, you know, big birds. I think they're the biggest flying bird. But like, I think it's meant to be the zoo, ZU creatures from Final Fantasy. I don't know why. I feel like that might have been a mistranslation, because I think the zoo is from Final Fantasy V, which of course has not come out in America at this time. So actually, I don't know if it has, because I know they then re-released the games on PS1, but I don't know if that came before or after Final Fantasy VII. I'm gonna say after. But no, this whole area, like, this looks like a little burrow. It's actually quite, like, a nice looking place. You can rest here, which is super nice. God, any sort of resting place in these games. Free resting, it's just like, give it to me. But no, this place, I actually really like it. This seems very cozy. I know you're not supposed to be, like, underground. You're supposed to be, like, in you know, in the fort, but it just looks like you're in Valley of the Mole People, which I am down for. So yeah, straight up, like, right after this, I'm gonna be going and talking to, oh god, do I not cut this out? No, thank god I don't do much. I go talk to and get all the instructions, and then don't do it now, but I do come back later and do it at least once to show it off. Again, I feel like even using a guide, and the guide even says, like, hey, you can do this, but you don't really need to. Also, I bought another restore materia for some reason. I think I confused the owning with equipping, and I don't know, man. So as you see here, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy a little bit of everything, and there goes all my money. Because I didn't know, because I'm using a guide, and the guide's very spoiler-free. It's like, you can go here, and then, you know, you can just, this is where this will happen. Then it goes in depth after, but I usually stop reading. So I'm like, yeah, let's give this a try. And no, you actually really need money to do this, and I think you do get money back. But also these stairs confuse me. There we go. Little bit of problem with the pre-rendered stuff. So the enemy is this is kind of, if you've played Final Fantasy VI, you remember the whole the part of that game where you would place troops and you'd have to stop enemies and stuff, and they'd be walking towards you dudes. It's like that. Remember on oh, I can't even remember the name of the place. Narsh, the Narsh mountain there. And you know, it's like you got the when Kefka and Ultima weapon are there coming after you, and you gotta stop them. So it's like that. So I love how I'm like totally going through all these different things, and we're not gonna take a look at them. It sucks, but hey, it's fine. So conditions for victory: you can wipe out the enemy or kill the enemy commander, but you don't want the shed to take damage. because you don't want them to get the reactor. So it's a big side quest. I think I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure you do come back at one point for a mandatory one of this, but I am not exactly sure. But you also have a bit of like tower defense stuff with grabbing, like choosing who you want, and like look at all these rolls, and I mean they're all pretty self-explanatory, even though I'm not even looking at them right now. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get what's going on. Funding was a big one, because I was like, okay, yeah, so that's how much gil they have, but of course you have to contribute, and if you don't contribute, you know, you don't have enough money. You need to contribute to it to actually get stuff, to get more troops and stuff. So at this point, I'm actually thinking of going out and just grinding on my own for money, because money grinding is a thing I have to do quite a bit. And I love how I always look through these parts to make sure I'm not leaving in any dead space, but I apologize because sometimes it's really tough to remove all the dead space. I'm not gonna go and redo the recording of this just to get rid of me on the menu. I had a long day. I went to a football game, then I went out for a walk where I caught Pokemon with about 70 other people, and now it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just thinking, man, I need a video for tomorrow, so I'm gonna be doing this now, putting this up, and then after that, I'll be going to bed, because I'm really tired. Probably watch a bit of Two Best Friends play. In the meantime, they're doing Catherine right now. Gotta love Catherine. So yeah, I'm like, wait. So he needs more money, though. You do need more money. So I'm like, okay, wait. So I go back. I actually fast forward into my grinding here. And as I walk into this innocent forest here, you know, it's like, whatever, they're forests. Nothing can go wrong in a forest. I mean, I'm probably thinking there's probably some rare enemies in the forest, right? I mean, look at these little dudes, you know, so it's like we just kill them quickly. I love the fast forward feature for combat. It is beautiful, especially for ones where you can just attack them physically. It's really, really, really nice. But no, it's like, you know, I'm just sort of going around the forest because there might be other enemies in the forest, maybe rare enemies, you know? So I stop here. I'm like, I wonder what kind of rare enemy we got. And oh my god, we ran into a girl. Not just any girl. For those of you who, I don't know, looked at the manual or the pause menu, not the pause menu, the box even, or just have any knowledge of pop culture at all, you'd know this is our first optional party member. Yuffie. And at that point I'm pausing thinking, oh god, do I need to not attack her? Because, you know, thinking like, is this like Gao from Final Fantasy VI? Or is this like, you know, is it one of those characters? But it's not. No, you beat her up. But you don't actually kill her, you just beat her up. Now this part is tricky. Okay? This part I've read into. I used a guide for it, but you can apparently really screw it up. So you come out here, and what you want to do is you need to go immediately to her. If you go to the save point, she runs away. If you talk to your characters, she runs away. Now these you have to answer specific questions. Depending on if you answer the wrong ones, she will take your money and run away. And depending on which one you give the wrong one to, you have to keep talking to her. Depending on which ones you give, you know, if you don't play into these right answers, she will steal your money and run, which is hilarious, and then you have to do the whole thing again, which isn't bad, but apparently the chance of finding Yuffie is actually a lot smaller than, you know, like I got her on my first attempt, you know, but it's apparently pretty small. So you want to try and, if you find her, do this right the first time. It's not like you're missing anything if you do it otherwise, but thankfully we do get her on our team. She says she'll go with us, and I'm like, let's hurry. I think if you say, what's your name, it brings you up to the naming screen, and then after the naming screen, she's gone and takes your money, which is absolutely hilarious. Also, Sure Can Join Us is a wonderful, wonderful trophy name. Actually, a lot of trophy names in this one are really good. So Yuffie here is, as you can tell by the giant thing on her arm, a ninja. And as you can tell, she's a very, not... Yuck. She's not the best ninja. I love her, though. Is it because of the short hair? Absolutely. Shut up. No, Yuffie is great. She has a lot of really good things. I cut out my equipping her with everything. She is a long-range fighter, at least with the weapon we have equipped now, so you can put her in the back row, and she'll deal just as good damage as if she's in the front row. And otherwise, she's like, since she's a ninja, she's going to be a lot more dexterous than other characters. She's going to be able to steal easier and other stuff. And also, look at this cactus man. I remember seeing this dude and thinking, this guy looks like a Pokemon, like a flying grass type Pokemon. It's a weird design. I don't know if I even like it that much. Thankfully, we murder him thusly, though we will be needing him later for an important, very important thing. So Yuffie here, as you can see, she uses a giant shuriken, or if you are into anime, it is a Fuma shuriken with 2 U's, because hey, that's how it goes. And she's cute. You can get a lot of different things for her, even though it's like, you got a shuriken now, you can get boomerangs, you can get just a whole variety of stuff for her to throw. And we're going to run right to the next town. I am fast forwarding a bit using in-game fast forward. So this dude here, as soon as I saw I'm fighting a solitary enemy who's like big, I'm like, yo, and he's holding a weapon. I'm like, this dude is made for stealing from. Oh my god. I was so excited. And I gave, of course, Yuffie the steal materia because she is the one who uses it best. And later on, you get the ability to not only steal, but attack and steal with the same action, which is not the best, just like his high potion as an item. I was expecting a hammer weapon, for Cloud or something, but no, man, it's just a high potion, which is nice. But there is a lot better you can get also. So yeah, there's a lot of big single enemies in Final Fantasy VII, and I think I've gone over that, where it's like, most Final Fantasies you'll find groups of 4, groups of 3 of the same enemy, and it's like whatever. Maybe you get group of 2 and 1, but it's like whenever there's one big one, I'm usually wary, whatever, in an RPG. But here I was like, it feels a lot more common. Also, this bird plane is a bird plane. Please go listen to the song Bird Plane. Is that a song people know about? It's a weird song, but I enjoy it. And this bird plane gives us a weapon for Yuffie, which is absolutely wonderful timing. It also has a thing called Blue Impulse. Like, what is that? Is it a plane? Is it a bird? I can't believe I almost actually went into a Superman joke. That's insane. But no, the boomerang is a weapon for Yuffie, which you can equip, as we will do thusly, and is better in every regard. I give her a bit of a whatever heal. Why not throw that on her? Of course, you do want to be careful with what materia you do put on characters, because it does affect their stat stuff. And at this point, I'm just lost. So I'm fast forward plus no enemies, and I'm like, let's look where we have to go. There is a full map button, which I am using now. And I'm like, this isn't where I go. And it's just, having the ability to turn off encounters though for the overworld is lovely, and I really do enjoy it. So, that said, we're heading into the next village after we do this encounter with some more of these dudes. I do leave this in to show off Yuffie's limit break as well as her new weapon, which is the boomerang. Greased Lightning, which is a running slash. Admittedly, probably the weakest limit break, the first one even, visually. It is literally just her, I will run up and slice you, versus her, I will throw this weapon at you. Like, it's a little strange. It's a little awkward, but hey, whatever. So yeah, Yuffie is optional. You don't have to get her. And you can get her, I'm pretty sure, any point in the first 2 discs, and That said, I don't think the discs are at all even shown in the in this version, because it's straight up like, you know, it's the PS4 version. There's no disc switching. But we are now at Junon, which is, well, we're at Lower Junon. You know, it's a little peaceful village. It's very nice, actually. The music here is very calming, very serene, and I get lost here for a good half hour looking for where to go next. It's not very obvious, I feel, and as we'll see later, but you know, you do want to explore it first, of course, because you are in a new village in an RPG, so the first thing you should do is go everywhere. And this guy says, what? To which I leave and not look at him from the front, which is what I should have done to be able to actually use it. Oh, I'm smart. But apparently the water is now so polluted there's no fish. Now we know every time there's a water pollution plot in some kind of RPG, there's gotta be some actual easy fix solution that we can do, or a monster will come out of it. Take a guess what we're gonna do. You know, it's like... And it doesn't seem a man in a black cape has gone through here, which is good. Considering if he said yes and there's just some other guy with a black cape, we would have probably been in trouble if we started pursuing places. Also, you can go up here and go to this teddy bear. I don't know why. That's needless. Also, you jump off instead of using the ladder. There's such a random touch for such a room, you know? That really, none of that was needed. But hey, they did it, because Square Enix... A lot of people say like they're lazy. I don't know why. I don't feel it. I feel like they're actually, honestly, one of the better companies for just doing things smart and well. So yeah, for this half hour of looking later, it actually was. So you're supposed to go, and so I'm using this here to see where I can go, and I couldn't realize, because you can't see the arrow to the beach unless you're actually really close. But even with the polluted water... There is a dolphin here. What a cute dolphin. This little girl is trying to get the dolphin to say her name. When are we going to tell her that dolphins are the biggest jerk in the ocean? Like, straight up, dolphins are jerks. They think they're so high and mighty just because they can dream. Also, fishmen. Not really a fishman. We got this here, this big... sea monster? I'm looking forward to seeing what this sea monster looks like in the remake, because looking at it now, it is just a mass of polygons. Reminds me a bit of the skullfish from Breath of Fire 4, but it's kind of just like a big fishman. That's about all there is to this guy. The boss music is playing, and he's a boss, but definitely not something I would get my panties in a knot over. He's very much just a attack until you're nearly dead, then heal, you know, sort of dude, you know. So don't use Quake, because Quake misses, of course. You can't reach him up there. Because he's flying. You know what he really reminds me of? He's basically a Gyarados. Like, honestly, he's kind of like what if Final Fantasy designed their own Gyarados. Final Fantasy, yes, that is a person, obviously, and not a company. Can you tell it's like 11:20? I'm a little tired. But it's okay, we're inside the fishy right now. I'm pretty sure no matter where you are, so for instance, even if, I think the couldn't reach there was just for Quake, but if you couldn't reach it, you can still use limit breaks on stuff that are too far away, which is very nice if you're in a situation that might be deemed unwinnable otherwise. But as you can see, like, yeah, like, he put us in a bubble. Which, like, is basically just the what's it called? The, pyramid status, but your HP drains. I think you need more than the, you actually need to use magic to pop it too, unlike the other one, which just let physical work. If what I think is correct, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's see here, do I use Bolt on it? I do use Bio on Fishman here, because you never know. Maybe Bio will work. A lot of enemies in the game are actually poisonable, and it does. A lot of the enemies in the game are poisonable, so you do want to just try that, because, I mean, that's, again, this game works on real time, you know, so it's like just as Barrett's HP is going down in real time, the poison works in real time, which is very helpful, honestly, for doing boss fights and stuff. So yeah, I'm like, okay, now that Yuffie's in a bubble, this might be bad. So let's break out Barrett here, who's having not the best time, and it doesn't work. I thought there was a way of getting rid of the bubbles, but I guess I'm wrong. Oh well. Guess we just gotta wait. Chocomog it is. Chocomog uses Death Blow. So there are different versions you can use for Chocomog. I think one of the things you can get when summoning it is Fat Chocobo too. And if you use it, it does come up as something else. But as you can see, because those bubbles there are labeled as enemies, Chocomog's hit everyone does indeed work on the bubbles. So, you know, it's good to know. Any sort of hit all magic would probably do the same. But of course, summons almost exclusively hit everyone, so you want to try and use that. But no, this is Vishman here. I don't know his name. I probably will never know his name. There's a bunch of diehard Final Fantasy fans, though, who like actually remember the names of these creatures. And I think it's just because it's, by default it's not on, and when it's on, it does cover up the screen. Like, it doesn't, you know, like the screen space is already pretty small, so to make it smaller isn't the best, but that'll be fixed in the remake, methinks. And we got Blade Beam, which is, of course, Cloud's neutral B in Smash Bros, so a lot of people, you know it and like it, and it actually works really creatively, exactly like how it does in Smash Bros, or rather the other way around. Smash Bros creatively uses its special thing. Also, the little girl isn't breathing, which is terrifying, so we have to do CPR. Is CPR copyright? Like, I don't know, actually. It's very strange, because right here is actually a terrible guide to CPR, where you have to, this is so weird, you have to press it once to start the CPR gauge and press again to stop it. So you're going to be breathing into her, and you got to do it a bunch of times. So you want to hold it up to fill in your lungs as much as you can without inhaling too much, and then press it again to blow it all in. So actual CPR, involves pressing on the chest. It's like actual CPR, we had to learn it in gym class, requires putting the entire weight of your body onto the heart of the individual and pumping the blood to get it started. And you have to do, I think it's 20 breaths, and then 20 part pushes to the beat of the Bee Gees' Staying Alive, which is ironic. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they say you do the CPR right when you break their rib cage. That's how much pressure you should be pushing on them. So CPR in real life is actually super terrifying, and I do not recommend it. I think in the guide it did say you don't have to worry about getting any more than level 4, like that right there. Any more than that actually doesn't add up any more breath to her. And the only thing you get by doing it poorly is making this sequence take longer. So don't worry, you can't accidentally kill her because you're doing not CPR good enough, even though you're not really. Cloud's doing it really badly. It's just such a weird diversion, though. It's like one of these like awkward PS1 RPG minigames they threw in just to make it different. But hey, that's fine. Also, does no one think about the fact that we have healing magic? Or does that not work for other ailments? The line is always blurry, and I would wish for a Final Fantasy game to address why one thing works and the other doesn't. You know what I mean? Like in some Final Fantasy games, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh no, the twins are petrified, but you use a petrification healing item and it's like, it doesn't work. Why not, Some do, but not all. But as of this point, though, we are basically done with Junon. So this is Priscilla's house, where we went before. And And coming up next is, we actually have still a bit of time left in the part. Not super long, but time nonetheless. But, no, Junon's a really cool place when you, like, in terms of design, because it's like, remember, this is all just the lower Junon. We still have an entire upper level that we haven't explored, because if you look from the outside, there looks to be some kind of large cannon or something, right? So it's like, we gotta go find out how to get around that. Thankfully, this place has become a sort of healing spot. I mean, it looks like it. Anytime in an RPG where you see multiple beds, you're like, this is probably it, you know? So, yeah, it's like, let's rest. Why not? There's no reason to not. Oh, you know, unless it's one of those RPG things where it's like, spoilers. Resting here gets rid of all your items because, I don't know. Oh, but we got creepy music. Cloud's talking to himself. Or who's he talking to? What happened 5 years ago? Well, I mean, the Nibelheim incident, but what? When you went to Mount Nibel, Tifa was your guide, right? It's like, yeah, but where was Tifa other than that? So this starts to raise the question of the unreliable narrator, which is one of my favorite and also least favorite tropes in fiction, where it's like, what if your narrator, the guy who's telling you or showing you everything, is either wrong or confused? And this is where it starts to become apparent, like, is Cloud okay? You know, like, Tifa's like, we saw each other, yeah, that other time. But Tifa doesn't remember either. But sadly, plot gets in the way. So we could have actually had a big major revelation, but we gotta see what's happening outside next part, and get ready to have a song stuck in your head. Thank you all for watching, guys. I'm super tired. I'm gonna be heading to bed right away. See you next time. Ciao.